माननीय श्री साकेत गोखले 10 मिनट.
Thank you, sir.
10 minutes, please. 10 minutes.
We had 17 minutes left for our party, sir.
It's 10 here mentioned. I will get it checked. It's 10 here mentioned.
Thank you, sir. So the union budget presented by the Honorable Finance Minister reminds me of an old quote by Benjamin Franklin. He said, in this world, nothing is certain except death and taxes. It also interestingly echoes, especially with the budget presented by the Honorable Finance Minister, it echoes what the author Terry Pratchett added to Franklin's quote when he said, and I'm going to add a little bit here, take a creative liberty, the Finance Minister's taxes are worse because death kills you only once in your life, these taxes kill you every year. Centuries ago, when America fought for its independence from Britain, their founding fathers had proclaimed no taxation without representation. The idea of a government taking money without giving people adequate representation, without giving a voice to the people, without people getting their share of the taxes that they are paying to a government, has always been considered a very abhorrent colonial idea. Sadly, after listening to the Honorable Finance Minister's budget speech, sir, the people of West Bengal, where I come from, and several other opposition states have found that they have no representation or even a mention in how they will get their rightful share of money from the taxes that they all pay to the union government. This union budget goes against the foundational ideas of cooperative federalism. Forget cooperative, it goes against the foundational ideas of federalism of any form. This budget brutally taxes the multitude of hardworking Indian citizens while giving favors to a select few. So what is sad is the union government in this budget takes money from all the 28 states of the union, but 26 states have gotten nothing in this budget. This budget also insults the collective intelligence of this august House, because the Honorable Finance Minister did two things in a budget speech. She gave statements that paint a brazenly false and rosy image of a completely damaged economy. And she made promises that, going by this government's track record, she has absolutely no intention of fulfilling. This union budget is a clear and shameful case of taxation without representation. Shame. I recently met a young professional, sir, who's 30 years old. Going by the 2011 census, she belongs to an age group, the youth, that represents about 65% of India's population. Actually, it might be more, but this current government has not conducted the census, which was supposed to be done in 2021. We're right now in 2024. So if we had the new census, maybe we would know that the youth actually represents an even bigger chunk of India's population. So this person's grocery bill has spiked up drastically, thanks to the Modi government's inability to control food prices. Food inflation today is at a whopping 9.4%. Then, she, like many other professionals living in our cities in India, she has to pay medical insurance premium every year. So what kind of a travesty is it that this government charges 18% GST on insurance payments? That for getting the basic right of health care that you pay premium for, you're charging 18% GST on that. The infrastructure in her city, Mumbai, where she lives, where I also originally come from, is falling apart. For the longest time, sir, she commuted to her workplace by using Mumbai's local trains, which have not changed since the 1970s. One day she saw a fellow passenger fall out to their death out of the train, the moving local train. So thanks to the hard work of our social media savvy reel-making rail mantri, an average of 7 people die on the tracks of Mumbai locals every day. 7 people, sir, in the financial capital of India. But what has this union budget given this young girl? The hefty taxes she pays will go towards a special package for building roads in a completely different state, a place that she has never visited in her entire life. She has no roads in her own city, but her taxes will go towards a special package for building roads in another state. Why? The only reason is her taxes are required to save the minority government of Narendra Modi, which is completely reliant on 2 allies, a creaky coalition, to keep it afloat. Same. So how many must die so that Caesar may remain king? This budget is an example of that. You tax somebody so that your allies are happy, so that your government manages to survive for a few more months. But this young lady has no voice, sir. In fact, things are so bad today that the government makes her feel lucky that she's privileged to pay tax. Because if you look at the ILO report recently, about 85% of India's unemployed are youth. So forget paying taxes, she's made to feel lucky that she at least has a job where she can pay taxes. So it is not her voice alone that is being suppressed. I was very, very disturbed today when I came into Parliament, when I saw that the media outside has been pushed into a container. It reminds me of what we call the black hole tragedy of 1776, where the media has been taken outside Parliament, put into a container, suffocated from everything. Why? Because apparently now the government has a problem with the media talking to the opposition as well. Forget voices of MPs in Parliament, sir. Now even the media has been suffocated. Even they are not being given a voice. So it is absolutely deplorable.
Absolutely a shameful affair.
Shameful. So this is an average employed middle-class person. Let me just tell you a reality, because I've been listening to a lot of speeches. So nobody talks about the middle class of India. It's quite sad. The middle class of India is the backbone, but nobody talks about them. So today, the middle class is paying about 70% of their salary on basics, like rent, groceries, EMIs, medical expenses. Uske upar se, you're increasing their taxes every day. Where is an average middle class professional of this country supposed to go? They're the ones keeping a 5 trillion economy is only going to happen when the unemployed youth, the unemployed people of the employed people of this country take the country further. You're punishing the middle class. You're punishing them with increasing taxes every year. Now, the finance minister has also decided to go after people's meager savings. For whatever a middle-class professional manages to save and invest, the taxman is now going to knock on your door to extract another pound of flesh out of short-term and long-term capital gain taxes. So this union budget exploits the poor and rewards the rich. But what is the middle class getting out of the budget? Absolutely nothing. This union budget taxes the middle class, but gives them no representation. 45 crore people of India I'm talking about, sir. That constitutes the middle class. This is taxation without representation. So there is something interesting that I would like the finance minister to address whenever she responds in her speech. The government of India has a definition for the economically weaker section. Economically weaker section in India are individuals or families with an annual income of 8 lakh or less. This is economically weaker section. So, but in the new tax regime, 8 lakh salary ke upar 10% tax slab lagta hai, income tax. On one side, you're saying the economically weaker section. On the other side, you're imposing 10% income tax on them. So this government needs to make its mind a little clear. Are they economically weaker section? Or are they rich enough that you can tax them with 10% under the new income tax rates? Because this sort of schizophrenia makes no sense. So I want to talk about a very touchy and interesting topic for this government, which is the subject of religious minorities. Religious minorities constitute 20% of India's population, sir. This includes not just Muslims, but Sikhs, Buddhists, Christians, Jain, Parsis, and other smaller religious denominations. We saw the concern of the Honorable Prime Minister for the minorities during the Lok Sabha election, sir. The Prime Minister referred to Muslims as घुसपैठिए, infiltrators, ज़्यादा बच्चे पैदा करने वाले, people who bear too many children. He incited paranoia and hate against the minorities by making ridiculous claims like the opposition is going to take away your buffalo, the opposition is going to take away your Mangal Sutra and give it to the Muslims. So in my state of West Bengal, the Prime Minister crossed all limits by saying that we do mujra in front of the minorities. Why did he say that? Why did he say that? He said it only to express his immense frustration at the fact that the Mamata Banerjee-led government practices pluralism and ensures the welfare of both the majority and the minority in West Bengal. A peaceful and harmonious West Bengal bothers Prime Minister Modi because the people of my state, ye suniye, important hai, the people of my state have constantly rejected the BJP. Ab ek bacha hai, sir, wo bhi chale jayega. Sir, in this union budget,
please take your seat. Take your seat.
In this union budget, the allocation for minority welfare is how much? 1% no. 0.1% no. Is 0.07% of the total government outlay. So what is pathetic and shameful, the Prime Minister talks of sabka saath, sabka vikas. 20% of the population of India has a budget outlay of 0.07%. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Manrega, it was introduced by the UPA government to provide guaranteed employment to scores of Indians who live in abject poverty. The success of Manrega was seen by the entire world during the devastating COVID-19 pandemic, where this was the only scheme which provided a little bit of a safety net to the poor after PM Modi announced his harebrained lockdown. As I said earlier, sir, unemployment in India is at all-time high. Outside of the cities, the unemployed Indians living in rural areas have virtually no opportunities of securing employment. The Manrega scheme was meant specifically for them. But what has the government done in this union budget, sir? What have the poor people of India received from a 7-budget-old finance minister? Manrega outlay has not been changed at all, sir, this year. Manrega outlay continues to be the same. Despite unemployment rising, despite people in abject need of, it's pretty much almost the same. Now, because we're the Council of States, sir, let me talk about what is happening with the states in India. So the states constitute the Union of India together. The bedrock of our democracy is meant to be cooperative federalism, which respects the voices of states and provides them with opportunities for development. So several honorable MPs have mentioned the fact that the finance minister chose to highlight only Bihar and Andhra Pradesh in a budget speech. This is understandable. It was in this very house, sir, this was in this house in January when the Prime Minister arrogantly declared that the BJP would go 400 par. All my colleagues sitting on that side of the house not only cheered but gave a thumping ovation. What happened in the Lok Sabha election? They got thumped by the people of India. So if it weren't for these two allies in Bihar and Andhra Pradesh, they would be sitting here and we would be sitting there. So understandable. So let me state this clearly. We are happy for Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. We have no problem if they get some money. We have absolutely no problem, sir. What is unacceptable and shameless, sir, is why do 26 states have to be deprived at the cost of 2? Give Bihar, give Andhra Pradesh. What about the remaining 26 states, sir? Some of these states have also given BJP 100% MPs. Even these states have been ignored. So forget opposition states. So my state of West Bengal, by the way, is subject to special discrimination and deprivation in the union budget because the people in my state have been since 21 rejecting the BJP soundly in every election. So in a budget speech, the finance minister announced flood relief for 5 states: Bihar, Assam, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh. If anyone looks at the map, sir, nischay karke, jaan booch ke, Bengal has not been mentioned. Every state has been mentioned, all 5, except for Bengal. You know what is even more shocking, sir? Bengal has been reeling under devastating floods. And the part of Bengal that has been reeling under devastating floods is the part which actually gave BJP their handful of MPs, not Bengal. Despite that, the finance minister makes no mention of Bengal when it comes to flood relief. So West Bengal, like every other state of the union, pays taxes. People who work in Bengal, live in Bengal, we pay sab GST bharte hain, ye bharte hain, wo bharte hain. Why does Bengal not get anything? So over 1.6 lakh crores of our dues are still being withheld by the union government. My leader, Mr. Abhishek Banerjee, had challenged them during the elections to present a white paper showing since 2021, when the BJP lost in the assembly elections, if a single naya paisa has been given under Manrega and Awas Yojana to Bengal. In her speech, maybe if the finance minister thinks what she's doing is right, she should take up the challenge given by Abhishek Banerjee and provide a white paper on whether we've received a single naya paisa since 2021. So what is even more shameful, 2 days ago, just 2 days ago, sir, my Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, a 7-time MP, former Union Minister, 3rd-time Chief Minister of West Bengal, she was the only opposition Chief Minister in good faith to attend the Niti Aayog meeting. She went in good faith, sir. She flew all the way down to Delhi. She went in good faith. What happened there, sir? Pathetic. She was given 5 minutes to speak. At the end of those 5 minutes, sir, her mic was switched off. The one opposition CM who attended that meeting out of good faith, her mic is switched off after 5 minutes. She walked out of the meeting. She gave them a chance, sir. She gave them a chance to come. लेकिन जिस गवर्नमेंट को बात ही नहीं करना है, जिनको डिस्कशन ही नहीं करना है, उनसे हम क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं? So West Bengal, and let me say this, let me get this on the record, sir. This colonial Modi government subjects West Bengal to taxation without representation. Our people contribute to the union, our people contribute our share, but when it comes to getting our rightful share of that money, cat gets their tongue, sir. Not a single penny comes to West Bengal. On what grounds, sir? They say job cards were found to be fake. The Narega website shows that 99.7% of the cards are verified. On what grounds are funds withheld, sir? Because we refuse to use the name PM in a scheme where 40% funds are being paid by the state. Why are funds withheld, sir? Because there is a certain color which represents their party. We refuse to paint our walls with that color. Now, there is one more devious trick that this government uses, sir, which the people of India should know. Aapka tax ka paisa kahan jata hai? So 23% of the union government's revenues in this budget come from cess and surcharge. Cesses and surcharge are non-devolved parts of taxes, which means not a single penny out of these goes to the states. This money goes entirely to the union government. So what was the point of bringing a GST? This government proudly at midnight say one nation, one tax. One nation, one tax was to get rid of surcharges, cess, and other such extra taxes that are imposed. But what I've been seeing the last 5 years, Swachh Bharat cess, health cess, social welfare cess, all these cesses are being used just to steal money from the people without having to give a single penny out of that to the states, sir. और ये Swachh Bharat cess का क्या होता है, sir? What bothers me, sir, is a lot of people that I know from the middle class, I'm talking about in cities, we paid for our own COVID vaccines. Why is the Prime Minister's photo on my vaccine certificate? The taxes paid by people of all 28 states are enabling the government to give free ration. Why do they say Modi ji ne apna ration diya hai? Has Mr. Modi sold off his LIC policies to pay for this ration? Is this money coming out of his pocket?
Thank you.
Sir, I want to conclude.
Thank you.
I will ask, just conclude, sir.
Thank you.
Give me 30 seconds to conclude. Sir, I want to congratulate the Honorable Finance Minister in all due sportingness for presenting the 7th consecutive union budget. So, but let me also state from this House on the record, this government is not going to last with its policy of robbing Peter to pay Paul. I also wish today to extend my farewell to the Honorable Finance Minister, because I know for a fact that next year she will not be here presenting a budget of a government led by Narendra Modi. Thank you, sir.